What if I told you that most men who worry about their penis size are actually completely normal? It sounds hard to believe, doesn't it? But studies show that nearly 95% of men who think they're too small fall within the medically normal range. And yet, the anxiety persists. Quietly, deeply, and often painfully. You look in the mirror, you compare, you doubt. But here's the truth. It's not really about size. It's about perception. Over the last decade, I've seen men, successful, kind, intelligent men, walk into my clinic feeling broken, not because of a medical problem, but because of a story they've been told, a story written by adult films, social media, locker room jokes, and years of quiet self-doubt. And that story has a cost, to confidence, to intimacy, and to your sense of manhood. Today, we're going to rewrite that story together, because confidence isn't measured in inches, and it starts with what you believe about yourself. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Dr. Lily Anderson. I'm a board-certified urologist with over 18 years of experience helping men navigate the most personal parts of their health, including the ones they rarely talk about. And if there's one thing I've learned after working with thousands of men, it's this. How you feel about your body can shape everything, from your confidence in the bedroom to the way you connect with your partner to how you carry yourself in the world. In today's video, I'll walk you through why penis size is rarely the real problem, and more importantly, how to rebuild your confidence without needing to change a single thing about your body. You don't need surgery. You don't need pills. You need the truth and the tools to feel like yourself again. Let's start. You don't need to chant affirmations or stand shirtless in the mirror. This is something quieter, simpler. Every morning before you shower or get dressed, I want you to take just 2 minutes. Stand in front of the mirror, fully clothed or not, and speak to yourself as if you were your closest friend. Not the version of you that criticizes, not the voice that compares you to someone else, but the one that says, "You've come a long way. You've survived a lot, and you're still here, stronger than you think." Research in cognitive behavioral therapy shows that reframing internal self-talk reduces body dissatisfaction and improves sexual self-confidence, even when nothing about your physical body changes. It may feel awkward at first, but keep going, because the enemy isn't your size. It's the silent story you've believed for too long. One of the most damaging effects of insecurity is disconnection from your own body, from pleasure, from presence. Many men over 40 begin to check out from their physical selves, not because they've given up, but because it's easier than facing the pressure of performance or comparison. Here's a 5-minute practice that reconnects you gently. Lie on your back, knees bent, feet flat. Place one hand on your belly, one on your chest. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Feel where your breath lands. Then gently tighten your pelvic floor muscles, like stopping a stream of urine, hold for 3 seconds, and release. Do this 5 times. This blend of breathwork and pelvic floor activation helps rewire your nervous system for calm, focus, and embodied confidence. You're not just a guy with a body. You are that body. And the more you feel it, the more confident you become in it. This might be the hardest and the most powerful. Every day, men are exposed to exaggerated images of male bodies in media, especially in adult films. What's rarely mentioned is that these portrayals are curated, enhanced, or outright digitally altered, and yet they become the silent standard we compare ourselves to. It's like watching a superhero movie and expecting to fly afterward. So here's the challenge. 21 days, no adult content, no scanning for average size forums, no comparison browsing. Instead, replace that time with something that makes you feel good in your real body. Walking, dancing, reading, connecting. Why 21 days? That's how long the brain typically needs to begin resetting a distorted internal image, especially one linked to shame or comparison. After just a few weeks, Many of my patients report that they start feeling more normal, even though their size hasn't changed at all, because their mind finally stopped lying to them. Confidence is not a gift, it's a skill, and like any skill, it builds through small daily actions, even the ones that feel silly or slow at first. You don't need to become someone new, you just need to return to who you were before the noise got in your head. Michael was 53 when he walked into my office. A gentle man, soft-spoken, married for over 20 years. He sat down, hesitated for a moment, then said, "Doc, I know this might sound strange, but I feel small, and it's been eating at me for years." Medically, he was completely normal, right in the middle of the size range. But emotionally, he was shrinking every day. He avoided intimacy. He turned off the lights. He turned away from his wife. Not because of dysfunction, but because of disconnection. He told me, "It's not that I don't love her. I just don't feel like enough, like I'm not a real man anymore." Michael had spent years comparing himself to images online, to friends' locker room jokes, to a younger version of himself who had more energy and fewer insecurities. And every comparison chipped away at his confidence, not his performance, not his health, just his sense of worth. We didn't give him pills. We didn't send him to surgery. Instead, we gave him a plan. 2 minutes each morning with the mirror reframe, 5 minutes of body reconnection breathing, a full detox from adult content for 21 days. 6 weeks later, Michael came back. He stood taller, his voice steadier. And the first thing he said was, "My wife asked me what changed. She said, I feel different." And I told her, "I finally started believing I'm not broken." Michael's size never changed, but his story did. And that made all the difference. Let's talk about why a man like Michael, who is perfectly average in size, can still feel inadequate. The answer lies in your brain, not your body. You see, the human brain is wired to compare, and when it comes to our bodies, especially private parts, those comparisons often aren't fair. Here's why. Your brain doesn't use a ruler. It uses memory. And the more often you're exposed to exaggerated images in movies, adult content, or even locker room talk, the more your brain resets its normal. So when you look at yourself, even if you're completely within medical norms, your brain says, "too small." That's not truth. That's conditioning. It's called perceptual distortion. And it's a real, measurable phenomenon. Studies using MRI brain scans have shown that men who feel dissatisfied with their genitals have overactive regions in the brain, tied to self-judgment and visual comparison. Their bodies haven't changed. Their perception has. Now here's the hopeful part. Your brain is plastic, meaning it can rewire. And with the right habits, you can train it to see more clearly again. That's why rituals like the mirror reframe work. They interrupt the negative loop. They give your brain a new image to hold on to, one that isn't based on shame, but on reality. Same goes for breath work and body reconnection. These practices activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and restore mode, which helps lower cortisol, stress hormone, and rebuild trust between your mind and body. And when you cut out adult content for just a few weeks, you remove the distorted reference points. Suddenly, your brain stops expecting every man to look like a selected performer under perfect lighting and digital enhancement. Instead, you start seeing yourself, and you realize you were never the problem. If you've made it this far, you're already different from most men, not because of your size, but because you're willing to face something that most people avoid their entire lives. The quiet fear of not being enough. And here's the truth. That willingness, that's strength, that's manhood. You don't need to change your body. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to show up for yourself, gently, consistently, a little more each day. Start small. Stand in front of the mirror tomorrow morning and speak to yourself with the kindness you'd give to someone you love. Take 5 minutes to breathe, to feel, to come back into your body, not to fix it, but to reclaim it. Say no to the comparisons, to the false standards that were never meant to define you in the first place. These aren't dramatic changes. They're not loud, but they're powerful. Because over time, these small decisions start telling your brain a new story. That you are enough. That you're strong in ways no number can measure. That your worth isn't something you have to prove. It's something you already carry. One small act, one honest look, that's all it takes to begin. If this video resonated with you, if something in it made you feel seen or gave you a little hope, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below with the word confidence. Share your story, your thoughts, or simply say hello. Because when we talk openly, we break down walls. We build a community where every man feels safe to be himself. If you want more honest, science-backed advice, free from judgment and hype, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. This channel is here for you every step of the way. Remember, your size doesn't define you. Your courage to care for yourself does. Thank you for spending these moments with me. I'm Dr. Lily Anderson, wishing you strength, peace, and confidence today and always.